Bittersweet Beyond Disturbance in Venom and Honey by Jayalalita Devi Dasi. And this is, of course, a comment rather than the thing itself. To transcend group thinking becomes strange. Instead of making it about ritual requirements, rearrange. It is about a soul devoted beyond the letter of commandments. Of the questionable we spread, we are responsible. If we are repelling, who's to care when part of this control? We shall be extending the all attractiveness of the chilling of the secular identity, processing the difficulties of life. We are exposed as and expose the lovely. We are accepting of our lot and those drives towards what is crazy. We are individuating and it can change us terribly. Activate by association with the variety. There are many faces to masculinity and femininity. There is a time for study and a time to be seen as a disgrace. We are ever capable of acting out with the traces of youth. There is a mythic darkness, but who will do what's necessary when self-referral and harmlessness is not the drive of sleuth? Superiority is not had till you would be devoted throughout the mortifying. We are in the form for our mission of perfection in every emotional mode. We need to find something secret from a sense of humanity. The time draws to an end when the sacred is deemed infernality. Drink in the life that is here and in the future. Pleasure and pain are as violence to the false character. Fostering of weakness is of the most predatory. Nonconformists, regardless of what side, are often the most conservative. We know the limits of incarnation, and from mere novelty, we hide. We use this human shell to the fullest, but darkening keeps us inside from those identities. Those modes are not what I hatest, but the use of them as distraction. I am heard and I take in. Say what you want. The activity and inactivity necessary for life is not sin. For each is a sort of example. If your nature is capricious, that is your way in. Vegetarian trends remind us of how, in this age, the flesh used is human. Even predators have a place in time. It is not about crime or ethics, but abolishing the secular in our lives is the making pure. A mystic is subordinate and controlling of transmittable experience with the preservers of their formerly exaltedness and their disincarnate nature are their realms. Regretting and not regretting is not allowed to take the helm. Left to ourselves is what divinity wants, in a way. It is not the fugue our being ordinary, but in directing that takes every part away. Anything harsh, distinct, the parts, and the fluid becomes the way we pray. Existence, the consciousness of existence, and the joy thereof, finds of each thing in its opposite. We are ready for the angels and demons if we only reflect potency, dark illumination, and pleasing. Offer up one's willingness to be different and struggling with inferiority. Our shadows are brought forth in action that, without the causal, would just be obscenity. We are not real in the sense that others tend to say. So why must we always be around the others? Experience the separateness to merge by your desires. The armchair occultist is sometimes thrown into the realm of unknowing. Our discrimination deviates and we cling to the causal that interferes regardless of any disturbing. Harm and healing are manifested in our pain and play, pleasing and pleased to what is colored by its moving away. States and stations become one and the same. Thriving and bringing in by sound and light, the black alchemy shall process us living beings in the progressive change by day and night. Are you ready to be led by the causal and fight illusion and delusion? And of course, you notice I didn't include any Sanskrit or any similar language words, but I included the translation of such as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the first appearance of this chant, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And whether one's saying it 108 times, 16 times that, 32 times that, 64 times that, and I hear it's possible to go even more than that. 128 times 108. Yeah, that's whatever the case. And as you see in the meme, we're not being sociopaths here. We're not being psychopaths here. We're being something else. And yeah, it starts, you know, the devotional service. You got the servant master stuff. You have the friend stuff. You have the parent-child, and you have the spouse stuff, and then you have the socially inappropriate stuff. So, you know, above and beyond. That's really where we're at, above and beyond. So it's a way of thinking about yoga. And I have, you know, as I've mentioned elsewhere, the hottest time of year, that's seasonal. The start of fall, whatever you want to call it, Lunasa. I have thought that yoga is a good time for that. So my recent seasonal, this was one of the source books.